Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Soul to Soul Connections with Jenny G. I'm your host, Jenny G. Cousins. Now, in order to catch these episodes in the show, you will have to subscribe to my podcast and YouTube channel in order to catch these episodes. Now, if you feel you have a story or something you'd like to share or talk about, reach out to me because you never know. I might just say, hey, you know what? Let's have a chat and get busy. So, anyways, now on today's episode, my guest is very well known. For those of you who don't know him, you will definitely know him today. I have interviewed Aage before. You'll have to watch that episode because it's very, like, it's shocking. It's shocking. So you'll see who he is, and I'm going to ask him a little bit about who he is because his resume is extensive. It would literally take you decades to read every single thing, what he has done and who he is. Trust me on that. You can always go and read more about him on his website, and so, which we'll of course put below in the link so you guys can read more about it. So before I introduce him, we're going to talk about 2024, how we can really utilize this energy to the fullest. What tips can we bring forth? How can we transcend forward in quantum leaps and different ways where we can be grounded? So I wanted to bring Aage in here because Aage has so much to share with a lot of amazing tips to show you. So I want to welcome to the show Aage Nost. Thank you, Aage. It's always
Yep.
so much fun whenever we get together and have a chat. Aloha.
Yeah, because we have fun stuff to talk about. Aloha it is. Oh, yes, I appreciate you having me back on here because it is so fun when we get together and talk about interesting stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And can you just tell, like, the viewers just a little bit about who you are, just so they have like an
Yeah,
idea?
yeah, I guess I could. I will synopsize it. I think that's a word. If it isn't, I just made it up. So I was born and raised back in Norway on a farm back there, and I was going to be a farmer. And after a while, I figured it out that nah, I didn't want to do that. So at the age of 25, I left and came to the United States to go to flight school. I was graduated from flight school, and I got all my certificates and ratings all the way up to commercial pilot, instrument, multi-engine flight instructor, and I was a flight instructor for for about 3 years, and then me and a partner started a flight school of our own, and that grew into an international air taxi and an air carrier. And after 23 years in the aviation business, I retired. I quit flying. And I started doing other things, researching the mind more, going into hypnosis more, and going into and researching the real power of the mind. And that opened up some new doors. Boy, oh boy, did it. And I ended up with some radio shows of my own, and I had quite a few of them actually. And I hosted and produced two TV shows in Tucson for 6 years. And I've written some books, and now I'm doing a podcast with Nori Love, and you know her really well. And we're having a lot of fun doing that. That's called Broadcast Team Alpha. And folks, if you haven't been there, you need to, because we
Yeah,
got all the stuff that you're not supposed to know about.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Top
So
secret.
I don't know. That was as short as I could make it. And here I am with you.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody, if you really want to read more about Aage, go check out the website because it's extensive. Like, as soon as you land on that web page, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, right? Like there's just so much content here and who he is and so on and so on. And Nori is amazing as well. I've interviewed
Yeah,
Nori myself, right? So
yep. And
now, so
on that website, go go into the picture gallery on that website while you're there,
yeah,
and make sure you have about 3 weeks of times
yeah,
to watch it, because there is over 5,000 pictures of things that should not exist, but it does.
yes, yeah. So expect the unexpected, as I can say. Have an open mind. And it's real stuff, you guys. It's not made up. So yeah, we gotta kind of be careful what we say,
Yeah,
but no, it's really good. Like it's really interesting stuff, and it's huge. Like so many topics and dualities and modalities and oh, it's endless. That's what I mean.
yeah,
3 weeks at least minimum, with a few hours a day, a few hours a day. So so Augie.
yeah.
So
And
now,
while you're
yeah,
in there,
go ahead.
yes, when I do these shows, it's okay to talk about all the interesting stuff about pyramids on the moon and who's on Mars and things like that. And we got the evidence. There's stuff
Mhm.
out there. But
Yeah,
I also want to do something that will make people's lives better.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what I think we should talk about now. We have a new year coming up.
yeah.
How about, if you're not totally happy with 2023, chances are you should listen and do something different in 2024. And there, some of the things that you can do different is so simple. It's easier than falling off a log. And I know how that works. I used to own a forestry back in Europe, so I know how easy it is to fall off a log.
Yeah.
But there are things you can do that is so simple that you can improve your life with. And I want to ask you, Jenny, what do you think is the absolute most important thing in people's life, especially if they get a little older?
It's to find that peace within, bottom line, is really where it comes down to. I mean, we can go and be in any situation, and it's all about being
Mhm.
grounded, finding that peace within. And health is such a huge
Yeah,
modality, because if we don't have our health, does it really matter where we are, what we're doing, what we have,
yeah.
right? You,
Absolutely.
you know, because
Yes.
we've seen a lot of changes, obviously, of course. That's only just going to expand and get worse, unfortunately. So this is why it's time we have to really think about ourselves and do what we feel is necessary to keep that peace of mind. And Augie has some like extraordinary health tips, right? He's
Well,
never
I
been
got
sick,
one.
right?
No, I don't believe in it, and
Yeah,
that's one thing that I don't accept. Illness
yeah,
is not in my life, and I don't
yeah.
accept it. But there is something that I want to tell you about that has probably helped me a lot, and that is that in my really younger days, my martial art master told me, if you do this one thing, you will never be sick in your life if you do it every day. And I asked him, yeah, what is it? And he said, no, it doesn't work that way. He says, first you promise, then I will tell you. And I didn't think much about it. I just, yeah, okay, I promise. So he told me, and he said, sit down and take 20 deep breaths until you get a little dizzy. Then keep your breathing going so you stay a little dizzy for 3 to 5 minutes. And then he says, let go about your day. And he says, what happens is that the oxygen now comes into the lungs, go in the air sac and directly into the blood. And the blood is filled with more oxygen than it had before. And it snuggles up to bacteria and virus and kills it.
Hmm.
And that was okay. I could accept that. So I started doing it. But later on, I found out that there's some science behind this, because in 1931 10th, 1932, there's a guy, a doctor. He got the Nobel Prize twice for discovering that no bacteria and virus can live in a heavy oxygenated and alkaline environment.
Mm-hmm.
So when you breathe like that, you get dizzy from having
Mm-hmm.
much more oxygen in the blood. All bacteria and virus in the body get killed off. And on top of that, alkaline environment also kills bacteria and virus. So I keep my alkalinity of the body up to about 8 or 9, right in there all the time. That's why if I'm around people that have a cold or other stuff,
Yeah.
I don't get it
Yeah.
much. I have had it, and it catches me off guard, but then I go do this thing
Mm-hmm.
about I call it hyperventilation, and then it goes away. There's a video on Broadcast Team Alpha. Scroll down into the videos and you'll find it on YouTube also under the same name. And it says, How I Got Rid of a Cold in a Day and a Half.
Mm-hmm.
That's the title of the video, because I couldn't tell them the truth because they wouldn't believe me, because I got done and gone in about 6 hours.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So this works. If you do this, you're going to stay a lot healthier than you are. And try it out. And it works about 100% of the time for everybody.
Mm-hmm. So like if somebody
Now,
wanted to try it once and they're like, it didn't happen, right? You have to be kind of like in
well,
that
it depends
positive
a little.
mind frame, right?
Yeah. If you have an illness based on toxicity, let's say mercury poisoning and stuff like that, that just might not do it, because that's a different thing. Then you need an EDT cleanse or something like that, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have a heavy metal detox. But for virus and bacteria, this works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Good.
So, and now for this thing, this rash of stupidity that people did when they put things in their arm and stuff, over the last 2 or 3 years. Yes, there's a remedy for that coming out too. So if you do your research out of the box, you'll find it. I can't talk about it here because of the environment we are talking in.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Right. No kidding. So that's why it's really good to really, as I tell everybody, really pay attention to what you're resonating with, what feels right for you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are a lot of natural modalities are out there for all of us,
Yes.
even like plant medicine. I love plant medicine and such like that. I actually just interviewed ayahuasca,
Yes.
a guy the other day, Carlos, and there's so many natural ways to handle things, and I learned that the hard way myself many, many, many years ago,
Mhm.
when even my
Yeah.
doctor told me you have to have a hysterectomy. And I started laughing at him. I'm like, oh no, I don't. So that was the first time I actually went to acupuncture many, 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 many moons ago, like, oh my, like 20 years ago, maybe. And one treatment, even of acupuncture with some natural pills
Mhm.
that she gave me, herbs, I should say, I was cured. I was cured, and I had to go back to my doctor. I think like within a month to get something. I can't remember what it was. Probably to get my ears, because I get wax build up in my ears. And he's like, you didn't come back. And I'm
Yep.
like, I'm fine. I'm like, the problem went away, right? I mean, and he's looking, mind you, he knows
Mhm.
me. He knows how I think, right? But I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't need no surgery. I don't need none of that, right? So the natural modalities are so very, very, very important. And we can really make that shift in 2024. And of all things, it's the solstice today. Like the energy is so pumped up, the energy is so high, right? So I'm not surprised I'm talking to Aage today, and it's that day to manifest. It's that day to really, really focus on what you guys truly, truly want for 2024, because you were showing even around the 25th of November, even up to mid-December, especially with that new moon, of what was not working. So you have felt this like really sensation of making these changes into the new. And if you're working with these changes, surrendering it, moving forward with it, you're going to see that abracadabra manifesting, and your life is going to completely change when you work with these energies. So,
Yes, because we live in a mind-created universe. Quantum mechanics tells us that. So what is in your mind the most is what you're going to have in your life. You accept that and
mhm,
you believe it.
yeah.
And you will start creating a subconscious mind program that support those new concepts and those strong energies you just talked about.
Mhm.
They will come to fruition because everything starts here in the mind. And I'm pointing to the brain, which is not quite right because that's not all of the mind. But you have also a brain in the heart,
Yeah.
about 40 to 60,000 neurons in the heart that is responsible for motion and emotion and things like that. So there are things we can do to make 2024 a much better year than what we had back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is that we are not told on how to do these things. You have to find somebody that has proven it, that it works.
Mhm.
And I have proven it for me, and I have proven it for many other people because let's take an example. Nori and I put together a mastermind group that we meet on Sundays and Mondays and Wednesdays. But on Sundays, we get together and we program the future
Yeah.
to what it would like it to look like, including healings for people. We had some phenomenal healings, and they happens just about every time we get together. Somebody have
Mhm.
this kind of healing. And let me give you a quick example. And that was just one of many. There was the wife of one of our members in the mastermind group. She was in the hospital with this thing that kind of was traveling around for the last 2, 3 years, and she was going down the tube really fast. They were going to put her on the ventilator the next day and start some of the other things that is proven to do away with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we wrapped our mastermind around her, the hospital, and we visualized and felt her walking out of the hospital the next day perfectly healthy. And at the end of the session, I kind of flippant way, I said something like, yeah, she'll be home tomorrow. And I really didn't think much about what I said. But in the afternoon, the next day, John called me and he said, my wife is home.
Mm.
And the doctor told her that you recovered so fast, there was no reason for us to keep you here anymore. They
Mhm.
sent her home. That is what a mastermind can do, and we have many things like that happening.
Yeah.
Let me take about 25 seconds and tell you another story of someone that really understand how the mind works. And in just a little bit, I'm going to show you how you can do this because it's really very simple. In 1981, there was a guy named Morris Goodman. He was in a plane crash, and the doctors did not expect him to live. He broke his neck right about, his
Mhm.
spine right about here, and he punctured his diaphragm, and he severed the spinal cord. He was pretty much done for. He could only breathe through a ventilator.
Yeah.
And then he understand, oh, what happened? Did I get kicked off?
No.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
I disappeared.
Oh, okay. I can still see you.
Oh, there we are. Okay,
I can
something
still
happened.
see you.
Okay, good. Yeah, here I am. Uh, he understood the power of the mind, so he started working on it. He was visualizing a repaired spine. He was visualizing a connected spinal cord. He visualized a healthy and solid diaphragm. In a matter of weeks, he rebuilt the diaphragm so he could breathe again. In a matter of a few months, he had repaired the spine and the spinal cord, so he was
Wow.
up walking again. And he came to visit his doctor, and he told him, "You didn't expect me to come and visit, did you?" And the doctor was dumbfounded. He said, "That should not
Yeah.
have happened."
Yeah.
But this is the stuff we can do.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
it's one,
yeah,
sorry.
especially when we understand how,
Yeah.
because there's some science behind this, and there's a method to do it. And that is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because when we want something like this, that we have a request for things to happen.
Mhm.
And the same thing with prayer. Prayer works too, but in a different way. A prayer is somewhat of a request for manifestation. The same thing with when we go within and we create this request for a healing or whatever let's say we need a new house. Fine. Find one that you love to be in and go visit it every day.
Yep.
And now, if we do this, we create the image of what we want in our mind. We fill it with emotion, happiness,
Mhm.
intention for it to be, and
Yeah.
vivid, colorful images, as well as we fill it with love. And we go visit that image every day.
Yeah.
It's going to start happening in the body.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, like 20, even 2024, it's a universal 8 year. So you're gonna find that, it's going to be a year of more prosperity and abundance. And I mean, that can be in anything, like some of you are going to find that, what, I don't want city life anymore. I want to move more to the countryside or quiet,
Mhm.
like town or neighborhood. And you're really, really going to understand why things happened the way they did in 2023. And you're also going to
Yep.
see that you're going to come together more with soul connections, like your soul tribe, soul vibe. Soulmates are going to be
Yep.
expanding even more in 2024. And you're going to find that you're going to believe in yourself a lot more. You're going to be like more creative and optimistic. And it's so interesting because you are going to be very focused on your health. So this is why, we wanted to talk about even the health right now, because, that's the thing. You could have anything on this planet, and if you don't have your health, what are you
Yep.
going to have? There is nothing. So the 8 is
Yeah.
prosperity and abundance, and you really, really got to be careful what you're trying to manifest. I mean, I can manifest certain things very quickly. You know, you got to be very specific what you want to manifest as well. So if you say, I don't want this and that, be very specific. It has to be like this, or whatever it is, relationship, work, money, where you want to live, where you want to move to, your health, everything. You have to be specific and you really have to feel it. And you're going to find that this empowerment within is really going to start to embrace you in 2024. You're going to see, again, of course, there is no leadership, as I always call it, so-called leadership, because a lot of that is going to be coming to the surface more. I'm going to do a separate video on my predictions for 2024 anyways, right? So it's more about focusing on yourself and making yourself a priority by setting boundaries. And it's about that balance with balancing family and your spouse and your children and work and everything like that. Because you can work, 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 and then you're going to be so exhausted. You're like, why am I so tired? My health, right? So
Yep.
it doesn't matter what we're doing. I had a friend that was so exhausted, and she went away. She went away. I think it was, I can't remember, like Jamaica or somewhere like that. She goes, all I want to do is sit on the beach. And it literally took her almost 3 weeks, 3 weeks before she started to relax and unwind. 3 weeks. That's insane. So it really shows you what your body is holding on to, because whenever you get tense, our body has a way to reacting to it. Our immune system starts getting depleted because of the stress. So I know that you take a lot of different supplements, of course, as well. Augie, do you want to share anything like that? Because I know there are quite a few, but a little bit about
Yeah,
it.
I do want to
Mhm.
share some of that. Actually, the one most important supplement that I am involved in is meditation.
Yes, yes,
Yes, I
yeah,
call it a supplement
yeah, it
because it
is.
really has, first of all, you do meditation every day and you're not going to have so much problems with stress
Yeah,
because you short circuit that and it goes away. Now you get some more later on. If you're really stressed at 4 in the afternoon when you work on something, take 4 minutes and sit down, close the mind down, and tell yourself, I feel good. And the some language that you work out for that works for you,
yeah,
any stress goes away.
yeah,
Because when you get your brainwave pattern down around 7 or below cycles per second, that's in the bottom of the alpha range, and there is only calm in the mind. Stress cannot live there.
yeah. It depletes the body, literally depletes the
Yeah,
body. That's why there's supplements to help, right?
yeah,
So if you're under a
yes,
lot of stress and stuff, your energy in your body gets depleted, and then these supplements help. Natural supplements help. And you can do body tests. You can body test them. I mean, I used to body test certain supplements years and years ago on it.
yeah,
There's different
absolutely.
ways to do it. I mean, one of the easiest ways is pick up like a vitamin bottle or something or supplement and hold it in your hand like that. And then gently. And then you can ask yourself, is this the right vitamin for me or supplement? And then you can pull it away gently with your other hand. And if it gently, like if it moves right away out of your hand, like it's not the right vitamin for you or supplement for you, if it stays in your like in your finger, like I just showed, then that's what your body is wanting. I mean, there's many ways to body test it and such like that as well. That's one of the ways I do it, one of the quickest ways. If you can't kind of read into the energy of what feels right for you and so on and such, body test it because it's your
Yeah,
physical body that physically needs certain supplements. I mean, I take greens every day myself, right? There's like veggie greens, chlorella, sea minerals, and all kinds of stuff.
yeah. And this is the body testing I do. Nori made this one for me, and I use this pendulum when I want to find out about something. If it turns to the right, it is a yes. That's how I coded it in. And if it turns to the left, it's a no.
Mhm.
If it goes back and forth, it's a neutral.
Yeah,
And this works for me. I don't do it as much, but
yeah,
when I do it, it works.
yeah.
And I know there are nuts and bolts people out there that, if there is something that you can't throw it in the air and shoot holes in it, it doesn't exist. But there's some science behind this.
Yes.
Let me speak to those for about a minute and a half because they're going to need this. There's some science, and that is there's this guy, he's a physicist. His name is James Gates. He says that on the blackboard, he says, we can prove it. When you look deep in the equations explaining the fundamental particles of the fabric of space, we find computer language. We didn't put it there. It's too organized to be there by accident. And intelligence put it there. So where there is computer language, there's got to be a computer.
Mhm.
Okay, where there's a computer, there is programming on it. Who is sitting at the computer? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Let me point to that person. It's you. You program your own computer. Now, the computer is there. You didn't do that, but you are in charge of the programming that is put in here. If you program in acceptance of what you want, you're going to have it a lot sooner. than if you said, yeah, that'll probably won't happen, but I'll do it anyway. Good luck with that one. And then again, let me explain how powerful the mind is. And you can create absolutely anything. And I'm saying that's a big statement. Let me explain why. Because I'm a hypnotist. And if I put you in a soft chair and talk to you for about 10 minutes or so, and I tell you that when I snap my finger and bring you back out, you're going to see an elephant standing next to you in the room. If I did my job right, when I snap my finger and you wake up and you look over there, that elephant is standing right there. And you can reach out and touch the snout on that elephant, and you can feel the rough skin. You can smell him. You
Yeah,
can hear him breathing. And I don't care if you are on the 34th floor of an apartment building, there's no chance of the elephant even getting there. That elephant is there.
yeah.
So now, what happened to your real world?
Mhm.
It went away, didn't it? Because you created a new one. But there is a problem, and that is that I can't see the elephant because there is no elephant there.
Mhm.
This is what you can do if you convince your subconscious mind that I am absolutely healthy all the time and I'm feeling good. I get better memory. I get whatever you want to programming and keep doing it. You're
Yeah.
going to have that. And besides, on Broadcast Team Alpha, if you on YouTube, if you go in and watch a video down in the stream somewhere called Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind While You Sleep. If you watch that and then become a member of the Broadcast Team Alpha on YouTube, I'll show you how to do it and I'll help you how to do it because it's so simple. You have an endless recording and you run it while you sleep. The subconscious mind is listening and it starts recording what you're saying, and things happen. You create new subconscious mind programming that will help you increase your memory or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all
Because I
there.
mean, yeah, I mean, because whenever you change your story, the story changes. I mean, even in my situation, without going into details, of course, I was getting pushed to it's time to make change with this and this and that, right?
Yeah,
So it's like utilizing what you really truly need to change. If it's your mindset, if it's where you are, whatever it is you need to change, it's like really
yeah,
focus on what you truly want to manifest, and don't try not to allow others to bring you down and drag you down. It can get very easy. We can get wrapped up in all of that, and that's why it's really important to even set boundaries, because who you surround yourself with, you really become. So you have to take that time for you, no matter if that elephant is in the room or if that elephant is not in the room. You really have to take time out for yourself, and
yeah.
really show compassion and kindness to others. Like we all have certain things that we're dealing with. It doesn't matter what it is. Anybody can sit here and put a smile on their face and say they're absolutely fine when they're really not, right? So it's like
Yeah,
really show kindness, really show kindness. Don't allow
that's
yourself to
right.
get drained.
And
And that's the difference, right? With the boundaries.
yeah, show kindness to other people, but also show kindness to yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
And that means forgive everybody else also, just whatever they may have done that wasn't quite for the higher purpose, forgive it, forgive them,
yeah,
but also forgive yourself for feeling the way that you did
yeah,
because of what they did. So when you forgive both end of the rope on that one, that is also a way to avoid karma. If you forgiveness is one half of that equation, also knowing and experience the feeling of maybe what the other one had done or what you felt like, again, the feeling of it and the forgiveness can wipe out karma.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna get some flack on that one, but prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like you have to forgive. Like, it's something like when somebody does something to you that's not good, let's say, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
who it is, of course it's gonna hurt, especially if it's somebody that like was a really good friend or family or like
yeah,
whoever it was, right? And I'm the type of person that will observe and reflect and see it. And then I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to forgive that person
yeah,
from within myself, just only so I can move forward. I'm not saying that it was okay what they did or anything like that. I'm forgiving that person within so I can move on with my life. And whatever journey they have has nothing to do with me because I want to move forward with peace and reflecting back on what lesson did I learn from that? What truly did I learn from that? Because I will take a negative situation and say, what did I learn from that? What did I learn about myself through that? Because when pain pushes us, push, 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 we all have that limitation to where, like, that's it. And that can really change the
yeah,
course of your destiny when you start believing in yourself, no matter what. No matter, I'm jumping into something, I'm a risk taker. I walk into the unknown all the time and I just wing it. I'm like, the universe is going to like supply for me.
yep,
It's all of my needs are going to be made, and met and so on. Exactly what I'm doing right now again. Right? So it's like having that faith and if you surround yourself with people who are very like, like fearful and negative and stuff like that, it's going to drag you down and that could stop your dream
yep.
instantaneously. We all have our good and bad days and stuff to work through, which is we're humans for goodness sakes, as Aage called it in the dictionary. Right?
Yeah,
There is a
yeah, you
word
don't
for
want to
that.
know.
No, no, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that. That's why I kind of left it hanging, right? So yeah, we're all
Well,
humans for
it could be
goodness
true
sakes.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
don't even get me started on that because
yeah. But be
especially
a
right
little,
now. Yeah.
yeah, be a little careful when you talk to yourself,
Yeah.
because the mind has certain affinity to
Yeah.
certain words. There are power words. Like if you want to be healthy, don't tell yourself, I won't be sick anymore. That ain't no good because the power word is sick and
Yeah.
I am not.
Yeah.
Those are power words. So tell yourself, I am healthy. Now, healthy is a different word than sick, and
Mhm.
I am
Yeah.
is different than I won't.
Yeah.
Won't is in the future. The mind does not live in the
Yeah.
future, it lives
Yeah.
in the presence.
Yeah. Because there's
So
the
small
powers
things
I
like that. In
am.
fact, if
Yeah.
you go to Broadcast Team Alpha and scroll down into the videos, you'll find a lot of stuff that'll help you reprogram the mind in details and technicalities. And remember also, when you work your life by principles, success principles, the details will fall into place.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is one of them.
Yeah.
And also, a billionaire told me one time, many years ago, probably about 28 years ago, that there are two things that go to the bank, and this has exactly to do with abundance. Two things go to the bank. One of them is money, and the other one is goodwill, and they have equal value at different times. There's something embedded in universal law that says that whatever you do, there's a tenfold return. So if you do something good for somebody, even if they don't like you, if you do something good for them, they will always remember.
Yeah.
And you will be rewarded accordingly somehow. And I have proven that for myself. Whenever there's one homeless guy that used to sit outside of the post office here, whenever I go by him, I stick a $5 or a $10 bill in his hand. And I see him light up like a Christmas
Yeah.
tree. He just loves it
Yeah.
because it makes a difference
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
him that day.
Yeah. It does. I mean, I'll even do that if I'm like shopping and
Yeah.
paying for something and like the cashier, let's say, I can see where they're struggling, and especially if somebody is not having a good day, it's very easy to see that. I will literally say something to that person of, wow, I really like your hair, or, I something positive, like no matter what it is, to
Yeah.
try to uplift that person, because we didn't wake up in the morning to have a bad day. We didn't wake up in the morning to live a day of hell, as I call it, right?
Yeah.
So obviously something has happened, or that person is truly, truly, truly going through something where we have to show some compassion and kindness. There's those words again, right? We
Mhm.
we can see there's so much ignorance in the world as it is, and greed and power and all of that kind of stuff. So it just, you got to ask yourself, where do I want to be in 2024? Do I want to be more in who I am and being more authentic with who I am and what I stand for? Because you're going to find that 2024 is a year of about empowerment. And empowerment is owning who you are, taking responsibility for who you are. That leadership within is also going to come in out in 2024. That's why the so-called leaders, as I call it, because there is no real leadership, all of that is even going to be exposed even more and more and more, which I'll talk about in a separate video on my predictions,
Yeah.
right? So it's all about the leadership within. Start believing in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who will believe in you,
Absolutely.
right?
And another concept is that most people, they spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their life. How crazy is that? Look at that. Then we there are people that just to get out of high school and they want to go to work because they want to make money. Heck with college. Well, I kind of agree with that. They don't teach you anything in college. But I know I'm on first name with three billionaires and only one of them finished college. So yeah, I
Yeah.
can understand. But on the other hand, is that we need to plan our future. If we don't, the only thing we're going to get is what's in the life plan that we agreed to do
Yeah.
before we were born. Now, if you plan it, you can plan around some of that. You can add to much easier than you can taking away. And you can, let's say that you, oh, yeah, I agreed to have cancer. Okay, here we go. Let's say you agreed to have that. But if you plan your future for being healthy all the time, you could run into the concept that if I understand what it is like to have cancer, I don't actually need to have it.
Mhm.
So if you are with someone that explain to you what they are going through, you get the experience from someone else and you don't have to have it. Now that works
You can change your
because
destiny. Yeah.
yeah, you're changing your, there you go, you're changing your destiny.
I've done it
So,
many times.
yeah. And when we plan the future like that, roll it into a ball of emotion, vivid, colorful pictures, intention for it to happen, and fill it with love and place it in the future at a time coded event and then go back and forth and visit it every day, and you get drawn up that timeline to it. And when the event happens, like a New Year's party or something like that, forget the calendar, it's no good. At a New Year's party, birthday party, Christmas party, or any other event, then when that event happens, you just walk into it and it is yours, because things happen between here and there for the universe to get in the game with you and help you create. People will come into your life to help you do it. You get good ideas from the universal mind that help you find out how to do it. And you may even win the lottery. Anything can happen to
Yeah.
help you complete that visual image of what you have
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Because and that's why, like, I always stress the importance of, really take that quiet time out for yourself. And because when you have that quiet time and you're in that zone, you're gonna start getting those messages coming from your soul. anyways, I mean, like I chant every day and meditate every day for many years. Whenever I'm having that kind of moment, I take time out for myself, big time. I'll turn my phone off and I'll just kind of sit there and start chanting, or whatever it is, right? Like, go on your own comfort zone. And this is why, you're even going to find in 2024, you're you're so tired of all the nonsense that's been going on in the world, that and the so-called leadership, that
Yeah.
you're going to be walking the opposite direction, because you're going to be like, I don't want to be around a lot of different people anymore. I don't want to be in crowds. I don't want to be in the big city life. I want more quiet zone time for myself to meditate. Right. And that is a gift of its own. If somebody
Yeah.
said, I'll give you $1 million, Jeni, however, if I do, you can never meditate again. I would, it's a very simple answer for me is no, thank you. My meditation, there's no price tag on that, because that's very
Yeah.
valuable. And that's where you start hearing these messages coming through on what direction in life to walk towards, and like, I'll even say, for instance, I'll be like, spirit, show me, what, like, if I met somebody, let's say, I'll be like, okay, show me who this person really is. I want to see the bad, not the good, right? Please show me that. I'm open to see that, because whenever you start seeing these other
Yeah.
things, then you can really make a decision. I mean, we all have the good and the bad and the ugly within anything or anybody or whatever it is, anyways, right? But a lot of people, what I find, because when I used to teach meditation class every month, the first thing I would say to people is, okay, before we even start, it's very important to be really, really open to what you're being shown from your soul. Because if we met somebody, let's say, just for as an example, well, that person's my soulmate, and then during meditation you start to see differently, you're not going to want to see that, because then you're going to be like, well, I don't want to see that because I want that, so I'm going to ignore that. So this is why it's
Yeah.
really important to surrender to what you're being shown by spirit and your soul, no matter how painful or challenging or difficult it is, because then you can save yourself a lot of grief and heartache, in the process. But sometimes we have to go that route anyways, for, many, many
Yeah.
reasons. That's why I do past life Akashic record readings as well.
Yep. Absolutely. And be helpful where you can. And now we're going into Christmas here, and there's a lot of people by themselves. They really don't have anybody. And
Yeah.
that's why me and my housemates here, we have invited 3 people here in Tucson that really don't have anybody. So we are inviting them over here for dinner.
Hmm.
And that's just one thing.
Yeah.
But here's something for the nuts and the bolt people. Um, Remember, you have a computer. You don't do much with a computer, but you are in charge of the programming going into that computer that
Yeah.
create the subconscious mind program that makes things happening in your life.
Yeah.
So here's something that I've been using, and it's just something I keep saying over and over and over again. And I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am with the love of my life.
Mm.
Now, if you don't have the love of your life, if you keep saying that, they're going to show up. It hasn't happened for me yet, but it will. So if you say that I'm healthy, I'm wealthy,
Yeah.
I'm with the love of your life, then something's going to be coming into your life. But don't just sit at home with the lights off. Put yourself out there where things can happen. That is going places where people are, going to meetings. Just go out there. Or I don't care what people do. They can go in a dating club or anything, but put yourself out there where people are and things will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you got to socialize, like, even though, like, I get
Yeah.
it, we like to spend time alone and stuff like that, but you still have to get out and socialize and be a part of,
Yeah.
humanity and all of that stuff, right? That's why it's like it's a balance with everything. And it's like, for me, I'm normally, like, when I used to work at the hospice, actually, I always said, put me on at Christmas time, put me on at Christmas time to be of service, right? And
Mm.
whenever I'm not working at, let's say, the hospice, which I haven't been for, oh my good, almost 2 years now. I think it's, oh wow, wow, that time flew by, somewhere around there, right? I just sit back and have a quiet day. Like even this Christmas, actually, I have a day off, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna like get some packing done. I'm gonna, maybe do some writing. I'm going to, like, depending on the weather here, right? Catch up on some certain things because it's really how we set our mindset about it, right? Light a candle because I work in channel with the Christ consciousness, anyways, right? And it's how we go about that time.
Mhm.
It's so easy to get really run down, and I understand it. Christmas can be a really painful, emotional time for many people because we start reflecting back on our loved ones and friends or animals and such who we've lost over the years. I mean, Christmas for me, I lost my two best friends on the 16th of December and the 17th of December. That for me was like
Wow.
very painful. I lost my sister at Christmas. I lost my grandmother at Christmas. So that like December for me is a harder month, right? It's the 16th and the 17th of December that are very, like I take that time for me more of a quiet day for myself because these two are
Yeah.
my heart, right? Terry and Shuturam, that was my heart. And they
Um,
both gone. 16th boom and 17th gone. Boom, boom. Right. So we all have our good and bad days and such like that. And I look back and say, okay, what am I really, really grateful for? And it's the smallest things, right? Like for me, it doesn't take a lot to really make me happy. I like the simplicity, the simple things. Like I work on my photography. It's like a meditation for me, and I love it. I enjoy it because
yeah.
it's one of the things I'm passionate about. So that's what I'm saying to people. Write down what you're passionate about. But what do I want? Start writing down on paper. If you could do anything in this world, what would you do? Don't worry about how am I going to be a doctor? How am I going to be a scientist? Whatever it is. Start writing it down, your passion, what your dreams are, what you'd really like to manifest. You'll be really, really
Yep.
surprised how quickly that universe really steps in and starts making things happen, right? Like I'm going to do something very bold tonight myself, honestly, being solstice, and this person doesn't know what's going to come, what's going to happen. Um, you know, and it's going to be quite worldly what I'm going to do, you know, but that's just me. I have a very bold
I'm,
personality
I'm,
and I'm
I'm
very
all
risky.
ears.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going to do it twice, but the one it's going to be more because there's going to be a lot of different people there, right? And they're going to go, what?
Hmm.
What? That's just me. So you have to
Yeah.
be you. Like you have to be yourself because
Yeah.
if you are not being yourself, if you're not being authentic, the vibrational frequency is not going to help you move forward to create that to continue on. It will fail because you're trying to be somebody you're not, right?
Yep.
Stay true to
Absolutely.
you. Stay true to
Yeah.
you because
Plan. Yeah.
yeah.
Know what you want. It is one of the most important things when it comes to success. You got to know it. If you don't know, how the universe going to come and help you?
Yeah.
You're just going to get what you agreed to.
Yeah.
But
And that's
know
where you got to be
what you want.
specific. Be
Yeah.
specific,
And I
right?
know that works because that worked for me coming from Norway. On the farm, I wanted to be a pilot so bad. I saw myself, I visualized
Mhm.
myself, I felt myself sitting
Yeah.
in the cockpit with one left hand on the control and the right hand on the thrust levers. And I saw myself flying that airplane. I did it just about every day for, I don't know, probably 3 years or so. And guess what? Here
Yeah.
I am. I did it.
Yeah.
So this happened. There was no chance of me becoming a pilot back there. It couldn't happen. I had to come here, and I had no idea how it could happen, but I made it happen.
Yeah.
So that works. It works. Just do it and be consistent. Not just on every Thursday at 4:15 and then wait another month. No,
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Visualize what you have in your presence and what you want in the future. If you do both, then you plan the present to create the future.
But you can't push anything, right? Like we can want things to happen abracadabra. I get that.
Yep.
We can do that. I've done it many times myself with
Allow.
manifesting. However, it's really important to allow things to flow. It's really important to not push or force anything, because you're going to find when you push and force something, you can get it, and then you're going to be like, well, that's not what I want,
Yeah.
right? Or
You
because
you
spirit
said
steps in.
you
Yeah,
said the key word, right? As you said, allow.
allow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because the spirit world jumps in, as I
All you
call
have
it,
to do,
and yeah,
you visualize it, and the universe will get in the game with you.
yeah,
But allow for everything to
yeah,
fall together.
yeah, yeah. Because some things move more quickly
And
than the
that's
other
one of
things.
the that's I want to do that. I have no shame, so I got to show you this.
Yeah, I'm the
This
same.
is
I
what
don't
I
care.
plan in this book.
Yeah,
I show you how to use your mind in ways that you normally would think would be impossible.
yeah,
And once you read this thing, you can get it on Amazon. And once you read it, your life will change. I get emails every week, people telling me that it changed my life. And also, I'm telling everybody, if you read it 3 times, then get a hold of me, because you are ready for stage 2.
yeah,
And
yeah,
there's a stage 2 where you get a little deeper when it comes into actually practicing what's in there.
yeah, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
there you go.
Well, it's awesome. Do you have like any like final words, Augie, for like
Yes, know what you
2024?
want. Hmm. Know what you want. Create it in your mind. Visualize and practice it every day. Read this book, and then get a hold of me. And you'd be surprised how few people do.
Yeah.
I am available to everybody that buys my books, and if you look on Amazon, it's pretty close to 5 stars all over there. So there's something good in there
Yeah.
that helps people change their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. It's like a movie in a way where, there's certain movies that you can watch 100 times over and over and over again. I've
Yeah,
got several movies I like that. People are like, you've already seen it. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it like 100 times and I love
yeah,
it. Right. So it's
yeah,
like a book. It's like that with books in a way. I keep certain
yeah,
books and I'm like, oh, I just love it because I can go back and reference into it. I can reread it, or maybe I want to just read about this or that, or whatever it is. So
yep,
it's
absolutely.
very useful tools for sure, for sure. So, well, I want to thank Augie again, of course, for coming on. And
Yes.
by God, we're going to go live next year, come hell or high water. But we are going to go live. See,
Okay.
there's that word. We can say we are, or we can say, well, maybe no, you got to be like, no, I am going to
Yep.
go live. I will go live, because those are very
Yes.
powerful mantras, very powerful words, and so
Yep.
on, right? So we're going to tune into Augie Live. Don't you forget about that, everyone. And make sure that like subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, the podcast and everything like that. I got a lot of videos and content going on there. Talk about like everyday events, how to work with these energies every day, what to expect, all of that. And I'm going to be doing prediction videos and so much more coming onto my channel. So thanks again, Augie, for chatting with me today. And don't forget, everyone, that if you feel that you have something you'd like to share and like to talk about and such like that, or a story in that, reach out to me, because you never know. You never know. We might just have that chat and sit back, just like Augie and I are doing. So
Yep.
thank
And it's a lot
you.
of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Augie and I always have a lot of fun, right? Always have a lot of fun. So thank you again, Augie.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time today. And I will catch everyone later, and wishing everyone a very festive holiday season. And make sure that you show love and kindness, unconditional love towards yourself and others. Namaste.